Today is Monday morning, November 14th, 2016, and this is breaking news. We've just experienced a massive earthquake here in New Zealand. I felt it from my location here in Tauranga in the North Island of New Zealand. The quake seems to have been centred around Christchurch of New Zealand. Initial reports were that it was a magnitude 7.5 earthquake. Apparently it's been revised down to 6.6, but based on what I felt and what I'm seeing here, I believe that it was certainly a much stronger quake than a 6.6. It's been felt throughout New Zealand, and we can see the felt reports here, if this map's going to load for me. Here we go. These are all the reports that have been submitted from people throughout New Zealand, so we can see that it was felt from the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand right through to the top of the North Island of New Zealand. This is the epicentre of the earthquake down around here. GeoNet are still refining their data. So this is the epicentre, and I live up around about here in the Bay of Plenty. There have been a series of aftershocks since, been felt throughout. If I go back to the drums here, each one of these horizontal lines is a separate earthquake drum or seismograph in New Zealand, from the north of New Zealand down to the bottom of the South Island of New Zealand. This is the best way to see what's going on with the earthquakes, because you've got all of the traces on all of the drums. So if you have a massive earthquake, it is felt on all of the drums. If you have a smaller earthquake, it will be confined to a group of drums. So clearly this quake has been felt massively throughout New Zealand, and there has been a series of aftershocks, which are these other lines that you can see down through the drums here. The aftershocks will continue. I can tell you that I'm safe. There's been no damage here where I am. In fact, when I felt the earthquake, I was almost about to go to bed. It was just after midnight, and I felt like I was slowly sort of rolling on my swivel chair, and I was starting to wonder if I was having some sort of medical event like a stroke or something like that, because it was quite a weird sensation. There was no actual shaking as such, just a weird sort of motion. It was a sideways motion rather than up and down, and this is what other people are reporting throughout New Zealand. For anyone wanting updates, I recommend tuning into Radio New Zealand National, which you can pick up on your local radio if you're in New Zealand, or you can pick up on the online service, and I'll post a link in the description area. Let's see what else we've got here. This is the local drum for Christchurch, New Zealand, and this is a 24-hour trace, so it's still just along the bottom of the drum there. So still early for reports of damage, no doubt. The news over the next little while, in fact the news is just about to come on.
My apologies. Vicky Mackay, RNZ News at 1. The police say the emergency 111 line is not working as aftershocks continue around the country. Repeating that, the police say the emergency 111 line is not working as aftershocks continue around the country after a massive shake just after midnight centred in Canterbury. The police say all emergency calls should be made directly to the local station, and the calls will be forwarded to a police communication centre. Police say all emergency calls should be made directly to the local station, and calls will be forwarded to a police communication centre. The first long rolling earthquake just after midnight was felt the length of the country. It was initially recorded at 7.5, but has been revised down to a magnitude 6.6. It was centred near Hamner Springs in North Canterbury. Civil Defence has issued no warning, and there is no tsunami warning. There have been strong aftershocks ranging up to 5.6 in the last hour in Canterbury. Strong shakes have also been recorded at the top of the South Island and the central North Island. The strongest shake was a 6.1 magnitude quake recorded north of Kaikoura about 12:30. There are reports of power cuts in areas including Canterbury, Nelson, the Hutt Valley, New Plymouth, Blenheim, Whanganui, the Tuone, Carterton, Rangipaiki Valley, and at Vinegar Hill. The Hurunui District Council has activated its Emergency Operations Centre in Amberley. A spokesman says council staff are in the midst of coordinating the response and has We're still gathering information, but at this stage there are no reports of injuries nor major damage. There are, of course, reported power outages in parts of the Hurunui district. St John says it's had no reports of injuries from the earthquake in North Canterbury. The spokesperson says it's monitoring the situation, but at this stage have not activated the Emergency Operations Centre. The spokesperson says people are encouraged to check on their neighbours, their family and friends, especially those who live alone or those who are frail.
So there we have it, a massive earthquake in New Zealand. It sounds from the early reports that there has been no massive damage or injuries or loss of life. Hopefully those early reports are correct. It's certainly very unusual to feel such an earthquake so strongly this far north, considering how far south the earthquake was centred. So I'm safe here, and I'll post any updates. The time now is just gone 1 AM, so hopefully I'll get some sleep tonight. I've contacted my family who live in Christchurch, and they are all safe, very shaken. So thank you for listening, and I'll keep you posted. Hello YouTube, this is Dazza the cameraman. Today is Monday morning, November 14th, 2016, and this is breaking news. We've just experienced a massive earthquake here in New Zealand. I felt it from my location here in Tauranga in the North Island of New Zealand. The quake seems to have been centred around Christchurch of New Zealand. Initial reports were that it was a magnitude 7.5 earthquake. Apparently it's been revised down to 6.6, but based on what I felt and what I'm seeing here, I believe that it was certainly a much stronger quake than a 6.6. It's been felt throughout New Zealand, and we can see the felt reports here, if this map's going to load for me. Here we go, these are all the reports that have been submitted from people throughout New Zealand, so we can see that it was felt